Hey guys, what's up? Cell here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my top 5 list for retro-inspired games that are specifically on Steam. But some of these you can find on other consoles too. Okay, so the first game here that we have is called Ellis, The Dark Call. And the beginning here is kind of reminiscent to me of Castlevania Rondo of Blood. And this game their inspiration is from a company called Joy Masher, which I want to say is out of Japan, but I might be wrong on that one. I couldn't really find any info. But they make very retro-inspired games, have for years. They've been releasing them online as almost like free-to-play games. So the first 2 games that they released actually for sale on Steam, the first one's Oniken, which was kind of a play on Strider, and it was a good game, but it kind of fell a little bit short off the mark. This one here, you can see very Castlevania inspired with the world map and stuff, but also has elements of like ghouls and ghosts and Demon's Crest and whatnot. But it's a very, very cool game here, and I suggest you guys check it out if you are interested in any of those old style games. And also on Steam right now, since it's Thanksgiving and the Steam sale is going on right now, you can actually get this game and their first game, Oniken, for cheaper. You can just buy this game on its own and in a kind of a combo pack for $3.89. Alright, and here's a part that I like right here is the distorted shopkeeper's voice. Just like it would have been back on the NES back in the day. I think that's pretty cool. The fact that the shops are pretty simple. They only give you like basically like wall meat. There's soup that heals you a little bit less. I think the meat is actually like a full restore. There's things like called Talisman of Rebirth, which is basically extra lives. And you can tell these guys have made games before or have played a lot of NES games before, not made games, because you see influences of like Ninja Gaiden there with the wind and the snow, and now we're like in a cavern area that looks very much like, with enemies even, that look very much like they were from Castlevania 2 Adventure, Simon's, or Belmont's Revenge. And so, yeah, and this game even has like the mechanic where when you're on ice you slide and stuff. So, very cool retro-inspired game. I'd suggest checking it out. And for less than $4, you can get this and the previous game, which wasn't terrible. I'd suggest checking it out. Okay, number 4, Hyperlight Drifter. This is Heart Machine's first game, or at least game on Steam, anyways. And they made this game entirely in Game Maker. Unfortunately, they kind of derped and didn't set it to 60 originally when they started working on it. So when the game launched, it had some controversy for it, running at 30. Since then, they've gone back, repatched it, runs at 60, runs flawlessly at 60. They also added a co-op mode so you and somebody else locally can actually play the game together. And the best way to describe this game is it is a Zelda-like Dark Souls kind of clone. So it's got really hard combat similar to Dark Souls. You have to learn how to dodge and stuff. But then the world set up and what you're doing, trying to go around collecting artifact pieces and all that, is very much like The Legend of Zelda. So the game's namesake, Hyperlight Drifting, is this dash move that he's doing right here, and it's done pretty well for movement in the environment, figuring out environmental puzzles, and also for dodging for fights and stuff. So it's a pretty cool mechanic that I like a lot. I like the hyper-pixel aspect of this game. It's definitely more than something like the NES could have done back in the day, but since it's pulling from like Zelda and whatnot, I figured it belonged on this list. It's a very good game that everybody should probably play. I also enjoy these areas where it's just ambient background noise, but when you get into certain areas and the music kind of kicks in, it's this nice kind of ambient, moody kind of music. It's done by Disaster Piece, who's done music for The Floor's Jelly and then also for Fez. A lot of times I just end up buying games because I like his music style a lot. So we're just going to sit back and I'm going to let you guys enjoy the music in the next fight, and then we'll get on to number 3. Alright, number 3, Retro City Rampage DX. This is kind of like a special edition, or I guess deluxe edition since it's DX, of the original Retro City Rampage. It came out, I believe, in November 11th, 2014, if my notes are correct here. This game right now is on the Steam sale for $2.99, so it's stupid cheap if you want to pick this one up. And if you have a love for games like Grand Theft Auto or other open world games, other GTA, you'll probably like this. It's a 8-bit demake of those kind of open world like games like GTA and whatnot. This game was made by a single developer out of Vancouver, Brian Provinciano, and he has spent a long time on this game getting it perfected. He even originally, development on this started, he wanted to make this work on Nintendo, and he has a build of it that actually works on the original NES, and even got to the point where development on this took place on his own kind of like hacked together mod kit, or development kit for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. You can see here you can even do things like go into the arcade and play certain games, and he's got other like indie developers on here for games like Bit Trip Runner. Okay, here we have one of the other arcade games, which you see here has actually a 3D mode for the old cyan magenta 3D glasses that we would have seen like on games like Rad Racer on the original NES, so you can actually get a pseudo 3D mode here. But this is Virtual Meat Boy, I should say, and this is kind of a take on Meat Boy with some kind of weird game like Rad Racer where he's running really fast and obviously making fun of the red of the Virtual Boy, which is, I just think, brilliant. I think this is a pretty awesome little homage to that system. Alright, and then there's a couple other arcade games, but I'm gonna like keep those as you guys can discover. And there's also a casino where there's like card-based games and stuff that are very similar to what you would have seen in like Super Mario Bros. 3, which is pretty funny. So here I'm heading to the trailer park section of the map to pick up a mission here, and I'm on like a little Excite Bike motorbike. There's a couple other interesting vehicles in here. There's one that looks like the Turtles van from the 80s cartoon show that actually has guns that shoot and stuff. And the only thing I would say about this, if you're of the age of like 30 or like around that age, and you saw movies like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Back to the Future, you played games like Turtles, Contra, Sonic, stuff like that, you're going to get more out of this game from the references in the game than somebody that's new, that's going into, didn't live during that time, and doesn't have those kind of like pop culture references in their head. So if you're older like me, you're probably going to enjoy this game a lot more. Axiom Verge from Thomas Happ. It is a Metroid, I want to say clone. It's inspired by Metroid, but it has a same kind of like layout, a lot of similarities, but the weapons and transversal stuff is very different. There's some things that are borrowed from Bionic Commando. There's some things that are actually borrowed from like Game Genie hacks and whatnot, but this is a very cool game with very cool combat. One of the things I love about this game is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is freaking awesome in this game, and I'm going to give you guys a sample of that. So I'm going to shut up and turn up the volume so you guys can enjoy it here for a sec. Okay, and this is number one for me. This is Shovel Knight by Yacht Club Games, and this game is stupid fun. It is no more complex than a platformer, but it has lots of character, really cool, interesting environments, and it takes away from games like Mega Man. One of the main mechanics is shovel, where you can actually bounce off of enemies and stuff, is, I think, probably taken from Scrooge McDuck's Kane and DuckTales, but that's just me. I would totally, absolutely recommend this game, and if you guys haven't picked it up yet, it's on sale right now for the holiday for about $10, totally worth the price, and I'll leave links for the Steam pages down below, so if you're seeing this later on, you can actually see what the current pricing on these games are. But yeah, and I'm going to leave you guys with a dance from one of the characters where he does this big, huge thing so I can basically collect his fish spit. Yeah, the fish spit is, magical fish spit is a thing in this game, so there you go. Alright, and I'll see you guys later. Have a happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays.